Paranormal Evidence.
Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices
Paranormal Evidence.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. Usually we go around and introduce each other, but I'm going to hold up. I'm going to change the program a little bit.
Oh, no.
As we introduce ourselves, we're going to tell you how long we've been in the paranormal. We're going to tell you what we do without telling our company name for a living, so you can know us. And then we're going to provide you with some evidence that we've captured. And then after that, Tony and Ron are going live with a direct radio voice live on the air session, so you guys can see that. Audra, kick us off.
All right. Well, I think you know who I am, but if not, I'm Audra. I have been doing paranormal things since I met Chris 11 years ago. I know, hooked. Prior to that, it was more really kind of creepy, scary dreams for me as a kid. Didn't really know what they meant. And now it makes a little bit more sense. I work for a large ophthalmic practice here in the NC. And you're next.
So I'm Chris Allgood. I've been involved in the paranormal most of my life. Started getting into investigating somewhere around 20 to 25 years ago. Been doing it hardcore for the last 10 to 15 to 17 years, somewhere in there. Law enforcement background. I'm an ordained minister. I'm a sensitive. And what I do outside of the paranormal, I have been in the window and door business my entire career, almost 30 years. And I am a ops manager for North Carolina and South Carolina for one of the window companies down here. Tony.
Sorry, I just noticed the reason why Race isn't here is we didn't click the radio station. So I just added it.
Oh.
He's live now with us. He live. He's live.
Who is?
Race. He went live. I saw it. Yeah, with our show, yes.
Okay. I'm Tony Rathman.
I'm Cherie Rathman. Hello, guys.
I've been involved in the paranormal, or we've been involved in the paranormal for over 12 years now. And what do I do for a living?
Say that again?
The least amount I can. And I'm going to go with that.
That's funny.
Where do you work?
I work for the director of marketing for Miracle Ear. What?
Say that again.
What?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Well, I am Cherie Radman, and just like Tony says, I've been involved with over 12 years. Yes. And I work for Chubb.
You want to explain what that is?
Yeah, please.
Insurance company, and I love my job. I love my company, and yes, happy employee.
That's not what you said yesterday.
Hi, baby. My coworkers are watching.
Oh, she loves her job. Loves it.
Love to death.
So I guess it's our turn.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I want to say happy anniversary to Tony and Cherie. 8 years. 8 years,
Yes,
right?
thank you. Oh my gosh, we've been What? Well, 8 years marriage.
8 years
We've been
married.
together for what? 14?
13, 14.
14 years. Fooling around each other. I'm just kidding.
You're going to get us kicked from Facebook.
Oh.
Not hard to do.
Well, I'm Lourdes Gonzalez, and I've been doing paranormal, like really deep dive paranormal when I met Ron in 2016. So I've been doing it for 6 years, and I am a court reporter by trade, and I've been doing it for 16 years, which I find interesting because court reporting ties into the audio, but Tony now is working for Miracle Ear, which also is an audio thing. It's kind of funny.
Well, the first thing I thought is, let me get a hold of one of those. I'll make it paranormal.
Right?
No doubt. So I'm Ron Iacovetti. I started out paranormal investigating. We're in New Jersey now, but I lived on the West Coast. I started in Southern California just a little over 10 years ago now. And then found my affinity for ITC, instrumental transcommunication, which I love. And I work as a proofreader for a skywriting company. No. It's challenging though, right? Trying to fix those letters. No, I work at inside sales management, account management for a food redistributor. So during times that were really difficult when everything was shutting down, we surprisingly did really well. People need food.
Crazy
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So and also a very happy anniversary to Dos Rapids for our Spanish speaking contingency. Dos Rapids.
Yeah, our chairs are so close together that every time I nod, the leather against the two chairs squeaks. Oh, it didn't do it that time.
It sounds like you're.
Or one of them has gas.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, there you go.
So everybody's probably wondering right now, why did we start the show this way?
Yeah.
Me too.
I
Because
heads up. Thanks very much.
If you guys weren't paying attention, my co-hosts weren't ready for that. So we come on here with you guys every week, and we bring on investigators, and we show their great evidence. Every once in a while, we haven't done it yet on Unex. We show stuff that we've captured and show you guys what we do. I wanted you to learn about us a little bit personally, so we're in more touch with our audience, and you know more about us. Touch. That was weird. She is even sober. That's the funny thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing this year. We're going to do, at least Audra and I are, because, Tony and Cherie and Ron and Lourdes can tell us what they're doing too, besides Ron's book that we've all told you about.
Okay, I happen to have it.
He happens to have it in your
There it is.
The only sold copy in America. I bought it
over here, yeah.
Ours is in the bedroom.
No, it's not. I put it on the bookshelf with the other masterpieces.
Oh my God.
He had it in the
All
bedroom.
the other collection.
He had it in the bedroom. You guys were getting a little too worked up.
It's a good book.
Let's move Ron this week.
Good book.
Yeah, I feel violated somehow. Yes. What else is Miracle?
Be a part of that? Did you?
No.
That's hilarious. So
I
I'm
appreciate
going to talk really quick. I'm sorry, Ron, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I appreciate the support, you guys especially, and then everybody out there who's reached out or bought it or commented. I appreciate it. It's overwhelming. It's flattering, and especially again, Tony wrote a really, really nice forward. It was really well written, and some of the best people in ITC gave me contributions for people who want to do ITC, which was huge to me. I preach it all the time. The community's not great because I'm in it. I'm in it because it's great. And so I wanted to include the people who are excellent at what they do. And then, of course, there's Anthony Simonelli over there. I keep my book in my car so I can see over the steering wheel. I sit on it. If you must know.
He has a couple of them.
Yeah.
I was going to say he needs another one. I'm just kidding. Excellent. So I'm going to start out, before we get to Ron and Tony's evidence, I'm going to go first. So ours is short and sweet, so we can cut to the chase and get to the DRV session here later on. Audra and I, so you guys know, we have Southern Entities Paranormal here in North Carolina, which is Carrie Hopper of History of a Haunting podcast is our researcher / investigator with us also.
And Laura Ackerman.
That's Laura Ackerman's an investigator in training.
That's right.
She flies out and meets us for some pretty big ones. We did. I can't figure out the name of this place ever. The hospital on College Hill.
The old hospital
On College Hill. We did that last year, and we did Trans-Allegheny. We are going back to Trans-Allegheny in May, on the 21st of May, and Anthony's actually meeting us there with some of his team. And then we're Piedmont Paranormal's meeting there. Southeast, Donna and Connie are going to meet us up there, and it's going to be a pretty good time. Aaron Bush is going to meet us up there.
I know.
Ooh, very cool.
She's an awesome lady.
Yeah.
And Julie's going to meet us up there too.
Okay.
Yeah. We've had Julie on the show. I can't remember her last name. Sorry, Julie.
Yeah.
Isn't that not one of the best parts about this show? We've gotten to know people better, or that we wouldn't have known at all, to interact with. Now even to get out in the field with some of these people who we've seen what they do and how they do it and how cool they are to interact with just as people. That's one of the reasons why we're grateful to be here every week. That's awesome. That's going to be a great investigation with you guys.
It's going to be a great investigation.
Yeah.
Miss you guys,
Yeah,
though.
miss you guys not going to be there. There's going to be a total of 20 people in the whole main building, so it ought to be
Wow, it's a big place.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you a couple things from Trans-Allegheny. I'm going to start with a couple pictures. Now I'm going to tell you, starting off, these are not mine. One of them was caught. So the first one I'm going to show you, I've showed on some shows on our old network, and so some of you have seen this before. So I was on the 4th floor in the men's ward. Audra was up there. We were doing a sensory deprivation in Dean's room with the group. And I got, through the sensory deprivation, Dean actually asked me to step out in the hallway because there was something out there. And I saw 3 shadow figures. One was at the end of the hall. One was in the room next to me, all at one time. And this one formed in front of me. And one of the investigators snapped a full spectrum picture of it in red. I'm going to show it right now.
Ooh.
Wow.
So if you look really close, there's the exit sign in the background and the door at the end of the hall. So it gives you a concept of the size of this hall.
Big.
So this was a black mist that formed in front of me, and they actually snapped a photo and caught it.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. It's really cool.
And the depth of the hall that you pointed out is critical for people watching, because, and Chris can probably explain this better because he's professionally worked with doors and windows and walls and floors and ceilings and skies. Anything that has to do with spatial relations, he's the master. The exit sign's too far from that to be causing that.
No, and the area that we were in, there was no light coming in. The windows were in the room, so this was almost a completely black hallway. So everybody that has experience with shadow figures and black mists, they actually block out the darkness. They're actually darker than dark.
Yeah.
And that doorway you see at the end with the little light is approximately, to give you a concept of how long this hallway is, that doorway is approximately 20 feet wide and 10 foot tall.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
that exit sign you're seeing is about 20 to 30 feet hanging from the ceiling in front of that, because the exit is on the left. So that exit sign,
What's the other light right at the tip center of the photo?
that is another exit sign. So there's 2 exit signs on the hallway. One goes to a stairwell that goes down, and the other one goes to an exit that goes outside through a little hallway with another stairwell.
Okay.
So the one Tony's referring to is about halfway down. The one that you see towards the end there is about 3/4 of the way down, and that opening at the end is like a sitting area with some windows. That light you see at the end is actually a light from the outside coming through the window at the end of the hallway.
Right. Now, I'm obviously, I'm more of an audio connoisseur or enthusiast. So photographs are not necessarily my thing. However, I would think, and anybody please correct me if I'm wrong, including the chat, for that light in the middle of the room to be attributed to either one of those red lights in the background, would it not need to be connected to, like, there's all that darkness in between it? It's like standalone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you would see the projection of the light, even if it was diffused as it went further back. But
That's a good point.
It's completely disconnected from any of the lights in the
That's
background.
a good point. Yeah.
you can see shoulders, you can see the head, you can almost see where the skin and the face stop, where a hairline might start. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does have humanoid shape to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's cool.
Crazy cool.
So the next one I'm going to show you was on the 2nd floor. This was not caught by me. This was caught by somebody that investigated Trans-Allegheny a couple months ago, and they sent it to me.
Tala.
So
I know, right?
let me start by saying on this floor, there is nothing in the center of the hallway. The hallway is completely clear. But if you look really close at that picture, it appears that there is a patient sitting in a wheelchair with a blanket covering their knees.
I see that.
Yeah, it sure
I
does.
see that.
I see that. Yep.
I have a little difficulty making out. Oh no, I don't. Now
Right
I see the
there.
wheel. Oh yeah.
You can see the
Yeah.
wheel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see that. Yep.
Yeah, and
Can
then
you make that bigger, like closer.
So to give you a concept too, those doors are approximately 6'8" tall to the bottom of the transom on the top of the door. The top of the door, there's a little window on the top. That's called the transom. And they used to use it for ventilation. So they would open that transom. It'll lean out. It'll lean in, depending on which way the airflow is. And back before they had air conditioning, that's how they would cool off rooms. They would open the window in the room. They would open up the transom, let the air blow through the hospital so it would cool down in the summertime.
so then if with your knowledge of doors and your sensitivity, would that make you a transom medium?
Yeah.
That's fantastic though, really, because there's detail to that you really can see it. And
Yeah.
if there's nothing in the center of that room, what would even create a false positive? There's no light bouncing
Right.
off anything, or there's nothing's casting a shadow.
Well, you can see in the floor. You can see in the floor about the middle of it where that light coming in ends. You can see the line in the floor.
That's
where it
true. Yes.
darkens. And that figure or whatever that apparition, whatever you want to call it, is beyond that light source. So
Yep, that's true. Good point. Wow.
Yeah, that's a good catch. You can see that.
Anybody
Yep.
that's ever been to Trans-Allegheny, even when they stage areas with old furniture and stuff to give you the effect and make it look like it did originally, they never put furniture in the center of the hallway.
Yeah, that would be counterproductive.
Yeah. And they don't want to be sued for an
That's what I thought.
investigator tripping over something in the middle of the hall.
Right. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Because if you notice, none of those lights on the top are on. So this was taken with a flash, but if you look, the flash doesn't reach where
Right.
the was caught. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tony pointed out that where the extended of the light stops.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
that's a great point, because of the flash would have lit the whole thing up. You'd have another argument maybe, but it's not. And it's not bouncing off anything.
And the best
Right.
thing about this, the bad thing about StreamYard is, unfortunately, you can't zoom in on these pictures when they're into the layout. But when you zoom in on the actual picture, you can actually see through the shoulders and the head and see the
Wow.
bookcase at the end of the hallway behind this.
Wow.
that's cool.
That's awesome.
So
Good
That
catch.
is really cool.
I'm burning through these because I want to get to the DRV session. I want everybody's evidence to be shown. This was caught on the third floor women's ward, violent women's ward. This was our investigation. This is actually our EVP that we caught.
Yeah.
Nice.
That female tone, it echoed with the environment. But that wasn't even whispery. That had tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. The best part is the pounding
Yeah. Like
actually
Wow.
sounds like it's on metal. And anybody that's ever been to Trans-Allegheny, especially in the violent wards, the doors are all solid metal. So you get the female saying need help, and it sounds like she's pounding on her room door trying to get out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it sure does.
Wow.
The pounding is loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In here.
And now nobody reacted to it on the recording, at the least. I mean, so
No, and there was three of us there. It was me, Zach Bennett, and his father, Michael Bennett. We're walking down the center of the hallway because the women's ward loves to give men shit. So we volunteered to walk down the hallway. And again, we're talking a football field length, and we were walking down the hallway, and I had my recorder in my hand. So there was three of us there. None of us reacted. We were completely quiet when we picked this up. So it was pretty cool.
yeah, if you heard pounding, somebody would have said, "What was that? Did
Right.
you hear that? Holy
Right.
cow, whatever, something."
Who's pounding?
Who's
yeah.
pounding?
Yeah,
something.
no reaction on the audio, so that makes it twice as legit.
Mhm.
Yeah, and anomalous too, because we talked about this before, that the sound, if something interacts with the physics of our realm and it causes a kinetic movement or it causes something audible, then the source is paranormal, but the audible part is not. But if the sound came from where the vocals come from, where we have no trace of, then the sound is also anomalous and paranormal effect. And I would argue in this one that that's the case because nobody reacted to it.
Right, because we know the type of investigators that they are. The first thing would have been like, "What was that? What was that?" And then go to it.
WTF, not abbreviated.
If anybody would have scratched their nuggets within 4 miles of that place, Chris would have known.
True. Very true.
No scratching nuggets, please. Okay.
Yeah. His awareness is. See, that's where we joke around and stuff, but seriously, that's where it comes into play.
Right.
Because the fact that you have the reputation with people who know you for that skill set, we hear something like that and we don't even go, well, maybe he missed something. Maybe somebody was there and he didn't know. We go, it's freaking Chris Allgood. No.
No. Yeah, I don't tend to miss much, but
no,
it's not on purpose. So it's the background that we talked about. So I'm sensitive, and at the same time, I have a law enforcement background, and I'm an ops guy. So I'm data driven, I'm physicality driven, I'm situational awareness driven. But at the same time, I get those feelings, those senses. I hear voices. I see things that a lot of people don't. I know where energy is, and I chase after it. And then once I've captured it, and Audra's captured it with me, because we're always together. She carries the equipment.
Carries you.
You're right.
So she carries you.
You're the equipment.
You're the equipment.
She carries me in everyday life. She carries me through investigation.
He's a transom medium.
That's right. Transom medium. But it all helps in investigating, because when you're sensitive, we sense and we feel things that a lot of investigators don't. And when you don't capture the evidence, sometimes you feel like you're nuts. But when you do capture the evidence, when you have the situational awareness, you know building materials, you know you're used to looking at humidity, you've walked the building before. When you can eliminate everything that is a possibility to debunk stuff that you've captured, then so when Audra and I present evidence to you, we have 100% no doubt in our mind that it is paranormal. Mm-hmm. And if we have any doubt, we don't show it. We don't present it. We don't give it to anybody and say, look what we've caught. We don't.
Dos Holtes.
Two
of the brilliant people in ITC. They both contributed to the book as well, too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's we are very fortunate with the people who watch our show. And Chris, you know what? You're also there's a percentage of the workload when you capture evidence that you have to do, or you're discounting the quality of what you catch. And some of it is authenticating it, and some of it you can't do on the back end because you don't remember at the time. I don't know, was he there? Was she down the hall? But you cover all that stuff. So afterwards, you cover the things in the tail end that you can only do at the tail end. And that's huge, because those gaps, when you leave them for post, too late.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point. Very good point. But yeah, he does do that. He's got it all up front. He would do that down at the Phelps Dodge too. I mean, when we first took Chris and Audra down there and we're investigating, and he's spouting stuff off. I'm like, what? I had no idea. I wasn't even paying attention. He's like, well, that couldn't have happened because I'm like, oh my God. Very, very good at knowing what's happening around it.
I appreciate that. The last thing we're going to talk about is something that Audra and I do here in North Carolina. So we've teamed up with the Montgomery County Historical Society. Montgomery County I'm trying to get through this as fast as I can, is the oldest county here in North Carolina. It was established in 1779. It was the largest county at one time. Yeah. So when Audra and I first moved here, we like going antiquing. We like looking at the history of the areas that we're in, of course, because we're paranormal investigators. And we came across this house that was built in 1830 by Dr. John Montgomery. Still sits in the same exact location they built it when they built it on their 5,000 acre plantation. And it's the original house is still there. It still sits on the original foundation. So we contacted the Historical Society and asked them if we could investigate it. So Audra, Cherie, and I went down and did an investigation, and we presented that evidence to the Historical Society, and they thought it was the greatest thing on the planet.
That's awesome.
So they gave us a key.
To the city.
To the city. No. It's a small town, so the key's about this big. So What we do is, you guys might have seen it on some of my posts. We offer investigation. So they're open for investigation. The investigation only costs $150 for 3 to 4 hours. Now, if you want to donate more, fantastic. But the reason it's only 3 to 4 hours is because it is 1830s. There is no restrooms.
No, nothing.
There's no running water. So as long as you can hold it, or if you can find a spot in the woods behind the house, is how long your investigation lasts.
What a conundrum. Drink coffee to stay awake, and then makes you pee, and then you have to go home.
That's right. But for those of you watching that ever get down to North Carolina, the greatest thing about what we do is we don't keep a cent of that money. All the money that is made off the investigations goes back to the Montgomery County Historical Society, because we wouldn't have places to investigate if the history wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. So true.
Yeah.
So we devote our time. We actually go down, we sweep the building, I spray the building. I've done multiple repairs on the stairs and a couple doors in the building. So we help them maintain it, along with giving them every penny made from an investigation. And it's so far. Piedmont Paranormal loves it. They're coming back in April, but
That's awesome.
we're trying to book it up. If you're in North Carolina, shoot us a message. We'll hook you up. We'll meet you down there, and we'll walk you through, give you the entire history on the house, and let you do an investigation. And we have caught a lot of stuff, and I have a clip.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You are their blessings and ours as well, because we appreciate what you guys do.
Well, you guys
All of us.
Yeah,
so
you guys do the same thing.
we- birds of a feather.
That's right. So, quick history. Audra and I got a sense of a little boy, a little servant boy that we felt was in the house. And Audra actually felt like she saw him, and she described him to me. And then I immediately got the name Joseph. When we presented this evidence to the Historical Society, they went back to the historian and they searched records. And I told them we thought he was somewhere between 4 and 7 years old. In 1870, there was a servant boy recorded that was in the home for Dr. Montgomery named Joseph. We were dead on accurate.
Wow.
So here is Joseph.
Nice. That was great.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was pretty neat to get that confirmation too.
Yeah.
And anybody wants to see it, reach out to me on Facebook. I actually have the picture of the 1870 census showing Joseph at 5 years of age.
Nice.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Cool.
So now I am turning it over. And for everybody watching, we're going to go a little long tonight because we're going to get this done. So who wants to go first?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Let Ron.
The master,
The master,
the
yes.
king.
I'm a master of all.
I'm just a measly apprentice.
Not at all.
Yeah.
You came with the connection already, so
Yeah.
it was fine.
Come on. The master was Marcello Bacci and Annabella Cardoso and Ernst Sinkowski. So yeah, he's in Chris Hogan.
Sorry.
He raised his hand. Who's not going to say Chris Hogan when he raises his hand?
So I wanted to take a second, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt, Ron. There's nothing more important than my team except this. We need some prayers to go out tonight. Our producer, Race Hobbs, had a heart attack on Friday night.
Oh.
So the reason he wasn't here to get our show started is he tried to call Tony to let him know. They took him down for a CT scan tonight, so he missed our start. Guys, I have been through this. This is scary. This is life-changing. This is a smack in the face of your mortality. So I'll make sure everybody just says some prayers tonight for Race Hobbs. This is our producer for UNX and a very good friend, and a very good friend of ours. So
Sending love and prayers to you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Wow.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for letting
sorry,
us know.
Ron. I had to say I just got the message on Facebook. So
He's so responsible. That's it has.
Yeah,
Bless you, Race.
Yeah, bless your race. We all knew something was not normal because he's always here. So
no.
Yeah, we will send prayers. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy, and he's been great with us.
Thank you, Ron.
Very much.
So, well, thank you, Chris. Thanks for bringing that up.
Thank you.
That is more important than any evidence of what we catch or what we think we do. The well-being of the people that we care about. So you can see all the responses in the comments now.
We love your race.
Yeah, he's a good.
We do. He's a good guy. Really good guy. So we will pray for a speedy recovery.
Yep.
Oh, that's so sad.
Dave Piedmont. Yeah, that's.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
All right.
So
what would you
who would like to go first? Are we back to this?
Go ahead, Ron. Go
Go
ahead.
first.
So are we setting up the small little clip stuff first?
Yes, go ahead and do your clips. We'll just run late.
All right. As long as you were planning on running them, that's fine. Or
Yeah, we'll do the clips first.
Give them a little teaser what they're about to see live.
All right. I don't know if you want to play it first or tell me which one you're going to play because you named them. I had them named in numbers. I confused myself.
Let's go with your famous.
Oh, that's okay. So you're going to play more than one or two, I guess. Okay. So this one, the context of it was I was just running direct radio voice the one night, and I don't remember what I asked. I don't think I asked anything before that other than just to come through. I think it was at the onset of a sitting, and then they apparently said that I was famous, which I have plenty of evidence to argue against.
The other side.
Yeah.
He has the cheerleaders on the other side.
Yeah.
Probably all Yacovettis. All the Yacovettis from the other side.
Let's hear what they had to say.
Famous? Who's famous?
Wow.
That might be the only situational awareness that's topped what Chris Olga does, because I heard famous and I went, what situation are they talking about? It's not
Yeah, he was stuck on famous. Famous?
That's not my situation.
Who are you talking to?
Harold Hogg. There you go. Matthew Jackson.
All right, I'm going to do three of yours, Ron. The next one I'm going to do is James Anito. I'm going to save the other one for last because I like that one a lot.
Yeah, the last one was really meaningful. This one was cool. Short story version of it. This is like a week or so ago. We're at the Rochester Parafest. We had a table with Anthony Simonelli from Seekers Club, and we were going to do direct radio voice up there to do like a little digital seance, like the digital seance initiative. And James Anito, I guess, had heard from Sam Baltrusis and other people what we had done. So we said, you know what, if you get a moment, come down to the room. We got a lot of direct responses. We asked for names. He got Mary. Then he asked for our last name, and the female voice came through and said Adams. The conversation was pretty consistent on and off in bursts. And so this particular time, we heard it say his name. He was there with his girlfriend who's pregnant, and then he was there with his son who's 5 from a previous relationship. So he's starting his new family, and they're all wonderful people. But this seemed relevant to him, and then it named him.
Yep.
All right, let's take a listen.
What's your name? James.
That's
I
awesome.
love that.
That's cool.
So
While he was
weird.
sitting there, it was cool part. And his name is Anito, but the way we even speak in our realm, right? If I say James Nito,
It drops off.
The is a drop
Right.
syllable sometimes. So it's reasonable if this is some kind of temporal connection.
Because when I heard it, I thought it said Anito.
She heard
I
the
thought
whole thing.
it said Anito, but
Yeah.
it actually says Nito, James Nito. But he made a good point. If you say
Right.
incognito,
Clear too.
Yeah.
You say it fast enough that the syllable can drop. So, but it was just really cool because he was there. He was curious what we were doing, and then it said something about him and it named him.
And the best part is that I feel the same way about my name. When my name comes out, it's a big deal for me. Not because it's my name, but people have a hard time pronouncing it. His name is not a common name.
Right. He said
so.
that.
For him, for him, well, he didn't say it now, right?
No.
So for it to come through, it's a big deal.
No, I didn't say it. He said it that night.
Right.
That's when he was surprised that his name was not common.
Which is why I'm surprised too. It's a good catch because of that. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Very much so.
So the next one I'm going to play first before Ron talks about it. Because this is a pretty cool one. This one I'd go ape shit if I got something like this. So
I'll tell you where it was. It was an investigation in Vernon, New Jersey with New Jersey Paranormal Project. I'll say that, and then you can go ahead.
All right, here we go.
You know who I am? It's turned on. Is my mother gonna be here tonight?
I love it.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
That's such a good.
So two things. One, it was ironic. I thought that I asked if my mother was going to be with me that night, not knowing that came through.
Oh.
Right at that moment, not knowing. And the other thing, if people could tell, I slowed the audio down a little bit because one of the things, if you remember, Konstantin Radove in early EVP and ITC research said a lot of times not only the cadence but the rate of speed is beyond what the human track can replicate. And so I found out that I didn't hear any of that in real time. When I slowed it down, it was enunciated. The pronouncing of each syllable was like I am talking now in real time, but it came in so fast I missed it.
Huh.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was an awesome catch, though. I mean,
that was fantastic.
You can't even calculate the probability of those things which were directly related to you. You know, I think you said your mom called you Ronnie, and she said, Ronnie, it's mom. And then, you know, there's a connection with the name Lucy. I don't know if you want it said or not, but there is. So that, you know, that's not chance. That's not happenstance. That's direct message right to you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's my mother's mother is Lucy. That was my grandma Lucy, and she called me Ronnie. My mother did a little bit, but more her. She always just called me Ronnie, never Ron, Ronald, just Ronnie.
And if you listen carefully, you don't have to play it back, but she comes out a couple of times before he even asks the question. You hear he says, "It's mom, it's mom." She says it at least 2 times, but it's so low. And then that other one is, "It's mom." He didn't hear it at first. I'm like, Ron, it's in there. And then the other day he was listening. He goes, "Oh, it is in here. It's in there." But yeah, it's a good catch. And what are the probabilities? I mean, it's crazy. That's crazy, and it's clear.
It is, and I want to point out something to the audience because all 3 of us, all 6 of us, all 3 teams in different locations across the United States, you'll notice we're all focused on electronic voice phenomenon, whether it's ITC or DRV, or we use digital recorders. We use the spirit box sometimes. And one of the reasons why I'm hooked on it is because if you guys pay really close attention, once you get an ear for it, for those of you that are watching, you can pick up tonality.
Yeah.
You can pick up expression. You can pick up emotion. Yep. You can't do that with a picture. The pictures and the videos are great. You know, the golden grail. Look what I've caught. Look at the person sitting in the wheelchair. But you know what? At the same time, you don't get the emotion. You don't understand what they're reaching out for. You don't understand sometimes who they're reaching out for. And you don't get the feeling and emotion they have in the moment. And that's what we get with electric voice phenomenon or electronic voice phenomenon.
Or electric.
Or electric. It's electric.
So I have a question though. So Ron, for that, how do you know how much to slow it down?
So that's a great question. I don't necessarily. So one of the things when you see us run direct radio through our software, both Tony and I, that I've had conversations with Tony about, because I love how Tony thinks, and I feel like he'll probably find what we're looking for on this. because of the fact that these things come in faster than we can speak, faster than we can hear them a lot of times at rapid cadence, and because of the possibility if this is coming in using the wave function of light, which allows it to travel extremely fast, where we're not going to hear it in the moment, even at, whether the decibel level registers or not. It's a little bit of an experimental crapshoot. Like I would have to, and this is what I want to do, is I want to take what we're doing, what you're going to see us do tonight, and I want to slow it down in real time. Because what I found was when I said, do you know my name? And it said Ron at the beginning of that clip. I heard on, and that's why I said it's on. I thought maybe somebody was telling me to, hey, turn your thing on. It was on.
Okay.
I heard the rest of it when I slowed it down, and because of how clearly pronounced in what sounds like, the only thing that sounded slow motion in that thing was me.
Right.
That voice sounded like it was in normal speed. So that tells me that if we can do what we do and we can slow it down in the moment. Now, 50% speed might be too slow for some voices. You might lose some. 100%, I think you lose some. So there's got to be a sweet spot somewhere where at least a majority of what we try to catch we'll be able to hear and realize in real time. If we get it somewhere maybe between 65 and 85%, let's say a full speed. That's my guess. But
because it's interesting what he's saying, because I'm a court reporter, right? So I've noticed I usually have my speed, because now I got to listen to audio. I used to be in the courtroom, but not anymore. So I listen to audio and I work at home. And I usually have it 100%. But there's a judge, she talks extremely fast, because I type 225 words a minute and she talks faster than that. And I've noticed what I do, though, I do slow her down. I slow down everybody, but I slow her down maybe to like 85 to 90 to be able to understand her and understand the rest of the people that talk normal. So I was telling him that maybe 75 to 80 may be the most efficient speed, so he can be able to capture the most voices, so you won't hear the slow ones and miss out on the faster ones.
By extension, that logic makes complete sense to me. The only thing that made me think, depending, you may want to tip it slower, is we're talking about voices that are faster than a human vocal tract could replicate. So in comparison to what can come through electronically, the judge would seem like she was talking in slow motion.
Yeah, I would say maybe like 75 to 80, because I slow her down to 90. I saw it down to 90. So I think maybe for you 75. But anyway, we're figuring it out.
Yeah. That's a great real in our world example of, in theory, what we're looking to do, because she makes her work more digestible, more intelligible by slowing it down when it needs to be.
Well, I can tell you, everybody watching, if there's two guys that are going to figure it out, it's those two guys right there that is going to figure it out. So, Tony.
Los dos hermanos.
Yeah, right?
I was out that day from Spanish class. I missed that day. I was out.
So, Tony, you want to talk about your clips?
Yeah.
Well, Ron was gracious enough to walk me through how this worked, get me the needed software along with help from Keith to get it up and running. And I started playing with it, and I didn't have a lot of success in the very beginning. But in playing around with it, I got it to work. And the clip you're about to hear was literally the first time I ever recorded anything from it. And, I can't even explain what the feeling using DRV is, because we've built spirit boxes for 12 years. And you get words, you get sentences here and there, but not on a continual basis. And direct radio voice is about as close to a conversation that I have ever seen. And the responses, there's days that the signal coming through, even on a blank station, gets what Ron and I were calling energy bursts, where you'll get this sort of staticky noise. So you got to play around to smooth it out. But what Chris is about to play was the very first time I ever got interaction. And you'll hear what kind of responses that I got.
So what you're about to see is a little bit of tease. That's what's going to happen later. We're probably going to run about a half hour over tonight, guys, even though we are on the East Coast and we're going to be tired tomorrow, but that's the way life is. But and I want to say really quick, so I don't interrupt any of Tony's clips, at 9:57 or 6:57, or depending on what time zone you're in, at 57 before the hour, Unix is going to switch over to the next program, but we are still going to be live on YouTube and Facebook if you want to stick around and see that live DRV session. You don't want to miss it, guys. Here's Tony's clip.
All right, so we're doing a little direct radio voice test here. Spirits, can you say Tony Rathman? I heard you say we hear him. Can you hear me? Spirits, can you hear me? Can you say Tony? Oh, there we go. That I heard. Thank you. Thank you. Can you do me another favor? Can you say Cherie? Oh, nice. It said Cherie. All right, one last one, Spirits. Can you say Rathman?
That was so cool.
That was.
Yeah.
You had a Southern spirit in there because we heard appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it is recording is just, Spirit Box, absolute necessity. But with this, even more so, because there's just about everything, because there's no radio. There's no radio interference. There's no radio bleed through. There is no radio signal in that white static noise at all. Yeah. So everything that comes through probably is related to the conversation, and recording is an absolute necessity because there is just so much going on.
Right.
So explain to our listeners, because I know there's a couple people here in North Carolina that are very interested in the DRV and the ITC. Explain what Tony meant by there's no radio.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you asked that too, because one of the things I found is this is becoming a little bit more known from what we've been doing is I've had people ask me, where do I get a DRV device? It's not a device, it's a methodology. It's direct radio voice. All you need is a world band radio, short wave, long wave, medium wave, where there's no broadcast. It's just a white noise channel. When we started, you're seeing us work with the software and the bells and whistles, but the methodology is the empty white noise channel, and then just connecting to it, trying to be one with the session, with the environment, and connect with spirit. That's the method. The software and anything else we've done that are additives, we did for the purposes of intelligibility of audio and discernment on our side. So the software is not facilitating it; it's making what's there detectable for us. So that's a big thing. So it's when he says no radio, what he means is that there's no broadcast emissions whatsoever. It's right. The white noise of an empty channel. It's not sweeping. It's not scanning. It's just white noise. We took the mantle up to do this 3 years ago because I saw Marcello Bacci in Italy, Dr. Annabelle Cordosa, who was kind enough to write about the author for the book. Getting evidence to me was unparalleled. Like Tony said, the conversation, you feel connected to it. Even when you're getting some responses and then you don't get anything for a few minutes, you still feel like you're connected to the moment, the conversation. It doesn't feel disjointed. So when we started, we sat in front of a boombox radio with a long wave channel playing static without it being cleaned up that much or filtered, no software, no. Then eventually we put it through like one of the portal boxes just for a little reverb and a little noise reduction, just to see if we could try to bring stuff out. And flash forward, now we're using the studio software and then the artificial intelligence component, which is meant to separate vocals from the noise, should they be there, which is the important part of no radio emissions, because if you put vocals into the thing, you wouldn't want to put them in and then filter them out. So when you find them now, they, by all intents and purposes, shouldn't be there.
So the device is a radio. It's just a radio that you can get long wave, short wave, but that's what it is. And that's really all you need to do direct radio voice method, because it's a method and you're using a radio. All the software and stuff, you can add that on later on, but you really don't need it to do this method.
Yeah, we have clips we could share from earlier on when we were getting vocals that came just out of the radio without software. When one of the ones we shared in the past, when we heard a choppy interference on the channel, and I said, sounds like a helicopter, and then a voice responded like a minute and a half later, said, not a helicopter. That was a radio, and it was played through a portal speaker with a little reverb and a little noise reduction. That's it. So it was essentially the radio. To Victoria's question,
I would say yes.
A regular white noise. So here's the thing: a regular white noise device might facilitate vocals on an EVP scale. I don't know if it's not a receiver, if it would do the same thing as direct radio voice, because one of the things we think is that they're piggybacking on the reception of the carrier wave to the device. Right. And one of the things they theorized with Bocce is that the carrier wave is being forged in the environment, possibly through the wave function of light, because they had RF signal detectors on the perimeter of the room he was in, and no signals were coming in. So if something's coming through the radio and the sound's modulated, that means some carrier took it into the receiving device, but it didn't come from outside the environment.
So you're trying to say that you can get voices, but it will be rare to get voices that you can have real-time communication with using just the white noise device, because it's not a receiver.
It would be
no incoming waves, of signal being taken in.
Yeah, you're bolstering EVP with audio support essentially, and that was the delineation when Dr. Ernst Sinkowski, the physicist, came up with the term ITC. That was the delineation, not just the third party in uninfluenced device, but it was the difference between EVP, where you have to review, and communication two-way dialogue in the moment.
I don't understand that question. To you?
Not also like it's not a dumb question, because this is a new thing for a lot of people. Not necessarily like a walkie-talkie. A walkie-talkie works on what's called like a half duplex system, where you have one channel and it facilitates two-way communication. Unlike a phone, which is a full duplex, you can have the same signal on one channel simultaneously going back and forth. You want a receiver. One of the things that make this a phenomenon is that we're using a receiver, not a transceiver. We're not broadcasting out with a microphone. So the mechanical wave that our vocal cords and larynx make propagates only so far, and then the cohesiveness levels out with the air. So if somebody's not hearing us in the environment, they, by all intents, cannot be responding to us from anywhere in the physical realm.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. The other thing about it is, like you said, we're not sending a signal out from our voice. It's normal human speech, whatever room we're sitting in, but yet somehow that ability for them to hear it, comprehend it, and reply to it, the response comes through in the white noise of the non-transmitting radio frequency, and then it gets literally manipulated or pulled apart to the point where you can pull that voice out.
Yeah. You know what? If I can comment, you know what my favorite part of Tony's clip was? As good as the evidence was, my favorite part of it was he was smiling. You can even see it from the back of his head.
It was awesome. And there's the second part, right, Chris?
Yes, there's a second part.
There's the second part of it, because the best part, I think, is in the second clip.
Oh, yeah. If it's the one that I think, that's a good one.
Are we going to see it? Are we going to see it?
Yeah, I'm going to play it right now, but I want to make one point for everybody watching, especially those that have never done this before, like me and Audra, who are. Ron makes me feel really stupid when we're talking about this, and not on purpose. Ron's not doing this on purpose. But basically what Ron's telling you guys is, and this is for Scott. So Scott Riddick at Piedmont Paranormal is really interested in this. The most focused part about that is the direct radio voice is a frequency that's not transmitting. So the best part is when you have skeptics that go on like an SB7 or an SB11, well, you're sweeping, you're picking up radio broadcasts. This we can go into discussing that one, all the variables with that one, but this is specific. There's no broadcasting, there's no sweeping. This is a blank channel, nothing's transmitting on it, and you're picking up voices.
Right, and to that point too, and Tony can speak to this, I'm sure, as well, or better than I can. The sweeping ghost boxes absolutely work. And when people say that it's bleed through or other things, in most cases, the people saying they either don't want to believe it or don't know how it works or they haven't used one before, because there's no way you're getting direct responses from a DJ on a station while it's sweeping through several stations.
Right. That's the
the DJs don't respond to you. And then where's all the music?
Right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get a direct response to your question. You would get a on Sunday, and then you would know. Yeah,
well, it's a different method. It predates the ghost box. It's a different method.
That's a great point. But that is the advantage to doing the direct radio voices, because it eliminates that variable completely. Because if you turn that station on and you heard a broadcast, you would instantly know it's radio. But the stations that we're using, you could leave that radio on for 24, 48, 72 hours and never hear a thing but static, because there is no broadcast on the frequencies we're using. But then to be able to take that and get literally answer after answer after answer, excuse me.
Too much to handle, right?
I'm getting so choked up. This is just but to be able to get that response after response after response from something that's just white static noise tells you there's a lot more going on in that white static. And I think Ron was the facilitator of this, but breaking down that barrier. And, in what I said to Ron last night when we were messing around with them, like the static, the white noise is nothing but hundreds of voices combined. And it literally is.
It is.
So it's really cool.
I have a question. I love the DRV. But how can you tell which voices that you will... I guess there's so many voices coming through. So how can you tell which one, or if those are spirit or responses?
Well, all of them are coming from somewhere that's not human, not regular voice, not a bodied person. It's some sort of magnetic wave, or Ron and I were talking, what's the possibility that these messages are coming through on photons and being picked up through the breakdown of the software? That's a possibility. Okay. But if you're asking, can you prove these are paranormal? Well, I think you could make a case for this even stronger than a spirit box, because you don't have that radio interference. So it's amazing that you're taking a non-transmittable frequency and getting not just voices, but getting responses to asked questions.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important, like what he's doing, what Tony's doing now is with the software, because you're right. Sometimes when you first turn it on, you hear all these voices. It's like you're a psychic. You feel like a psychic. All these voices coming through. And what they're doing and what Ron has done, and now Tony, with the software, somehow they narrow it down to like 2 or 3 voices, so you can be able to understand what they're saying to then make that real-time communication. Yeah. And we may not know that he's talking to his mom or his aunt, but if they're giving relevant responses, you can lean more towards them. Yeah, you may be talking to them. But that's why it's important that they using the software to narrow it down to just a few voices, because it's too many. And you get confused. money.
Almost like a directional microphone, where if you were using it in a room full of people, where you could focus on by pointing where you would pick up some conversation or dialogue. Others. So how that translates, metaphysically, who knows? Hard to say. But I mean, all the voices coming through, if they were broadcast, they would be riding the carrier wave. And I've even used single sideband, which takes the entire carrier wave. Right, all the data on AM or FM is encoded equally on the upper and lower sideband. If you suppress let's say you suppress the upper sideband and the carrier, you just get lower sideband on SSB. It's like putting your thumb over a garden hose. You're getting a stronger, more intensified stream that can go further, just to see if I was picking up something that was broadcast, and there was nothing. There was nothing there. To turn all of this on the head, especially when people are going to see this whole software and the AI stuff we're doing. Keep in mind that the brass ring that we're chasing with this was attained by an older Italian gentleman named Marcello Bacci, who used a vacuum tube pre-transistor radio. So tech and the advancements of tech, we're using them. We're trying to manipulate what we're getting to make it more intelligible in real time. But the best I've ever seen on communication through a radio was a vacuum tube radio. So there's something to be said for that as far as, the tech movement, I think.
And talking about names, I would like to name drop Keith Clark's name, because give him credit, because he was the one that helped us figure out this whole software stuff. And now we pass it along to Tony. Right. Yeah, so Keith Clark, awesome.
He also contributed to the ITC section of the book. He's an unsung brilliant hero, I think, in ITC, in my opinion. And that's why I wanted him in the book as well. I think his name historically needs to be in the books.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you, guys. That's my question. Because when I was trying to listen,
what are you saying? You need to give him some miracle ear.
Sorry, guys.
Well, maybe us. We can't hear him.
No, I was talking to Tony because we actually had an experiment the other day and trying to connect with my mom. And sad enough, when we set up the camera, one voice, I don't know if you captured that,
but mine did not record at all.
She says, "I miss you."
Clear as can be. Clear as can be.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, so again, I'm going to connect this back to Marcello Bacci. What did he do? He took no money. He jumped through every hoop to prove the authenticity. Never got caught faking or hoaxing anything. And his primary purpose was family members who came in, people he didn't know, bereaved because most of them lost children prematurely. And they were connecting with them through, he had a moderator come in, then the voices of their children would come in. Apports would appear that were relevant to the child's interest. It was insane. He was doing it for all the right reasons. Never, ever got debunked. You may see something online where someone will try to say that nobody ever debunked Marcello Bacci.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He defied the odds. So, no, you can't revisionist history that one.
Yeah. So, Tony, do you want to go to your second clip or do you want to go straight to live?
No, go to the second.
I think the second part's short. Just play it real quick and then we'll go.
Yes.
You can't tease us with it and not share it.
Tease. All right, here we go.
I heard you say speak. Can you say Rathman? Could you please do that for me? I greatly appreciate it. I know I'm testing you. Can you say Rathman? All right, let's try it one more time. Tony Rathman.
That's good.
Getting tested.
I know.
Yeah, repeated what I said to them, and like I said, the amazing thing about this is a static white noise station, and yet all of this comes out of it. It's incredible.
Well, what's amazing? Only Rathman could try something for the first time and get off the chart shit.
I got lucky, but
Well,
let's
you know
hope
what?
we continue to get lucky.
It is your anniversary.
That's true.
True.
Again, to not compile evidence, to not build a case for this stuff, and then forget what we compiled. Marcello Bacci, vacuum tube radio. So there was a connection that was altruistic. There was a connection that was morphic resonance that included him as part of the circuit. And I think if you look at that aspect of it, Tony Rathman is sitting down in the driver's seat to do direct radio voice, and he's not a rookie at communication with spirit. He's been doing it for a dozen years. Mm-hmm. So, and he's successfully done it with ghost boxes, which are phenomenal.
So he comes with his own connection.
I think if you hand a NASCAR car to somebody who just got their driving permit, it's going to be a little while. But he's got plenty of behind the wheel experience at a high level. And so now he's navigating something that's performing, and I'm not surprised. I would have been surprised if the opposite had happened. It's a grind, but he's got a good heart, he's got a good soul, and he's doing it for the right reasons. And then there it is.
And they see that it makes him happy.
That was my favorite part.
To have a conversation like that, just so let's give that a try. Live.
Who wants to go first?
Right.
Let Ron go first.
Okay, so everybody watching, I'm going to bring in Ron's DRV direct radio.
I know it's been running to do what we call an established connection bridge. We do it before we do a recording. We always let it run for 20 minutes, give or take, before we actually start doing the session. Even without recording,
Lourdes had to pee.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
Hey. All right, you ready, Ron?
But go ahead. Yeah. So I may have to adjust the sound. Who knows if the
All right,
settings.
here
All right. Can somebody say hello to our viewers? I heard hello. Can you say Entity Voices?
Okay.
Right there. Entity Voices.
What message do you have for humanity? What do you want us to learn?
We can help you.
Can you say my mother's name, Florence? Let me clean it up a little bit. It happens sometimes when it runs for a while unchecked. Can you say Florence?
Not too high. Did someone say he's messing with the sound?
So it sounded like.
I think you might have said your name. I'm kidding. All right, who's coming through? What's your name?
Christine.
Christine is your name?
Bocce? Did you hear Bocce?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah,
I
it sounded
heard
like
it.
Bocce.
Bachi.
Ooh.
If that's Marcello Bocce, say your first name, please. Say Marcello.
Marcello. I heard it.
Did you? Because it was very quick. It
Yeah.
was so quick that I thought that maybe it didn't complete it. So
I heard it. Yeah.
that's good. Because
Would you repeat that, please? Would you say Marcello? Right there.
Right there.
I heard cello.
I heard Marcello. I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it.
Thank you. Are you actually here with us, or is someone saying your name? Or is someone saying his name? Mr. Bachi?
Audra heard I'm trying to get through.
Ooh. Who's trying to get through, Bachi or someone else?
And you say Bella, if you know Dr. Annabella Cardoso? Right there.
I heard it.
Low voice, yep.
I heard it.
The raspy one.
Ooh, something about a table. Or was that someone else speaking? I heard something about a table.
Can you say hello to Mr. Rathman?
Rathman.
Heard it.
Now, if you understand, we want you to talk through Tony's device also. Can you say Arizona? Arizona, please. Can you say it nice and slow?
I thought I heard Entity Voices when Tony did his direct radio voice. He asked for you guys to say Entity Voices, and you guys actually did. Can you do that for us now? Entity Voices. Yep, I heard that. Is that correct?
Can you see us? Yes or no?
Ooh, I heard Bella now. I heard Bella now. How many months was he on the screen? There's something about that so quick.
And you say Konstantin Radove if you know who that is.
I heard Ron listen. Oh, you have a question, and said.
I was
Did you
just
see
gonna
that?
say, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yep.
They said yes.
Well, my question is, can you please give us a positive message? Which is more of a request. I heard something about special.
Wrong. Yes, who's asking for me? All right, I gotta ask this. You did it for us before. Can you say "stay haunted," please? Nice and slow. That was it. It was truncated. Can we get that one more time, please, but slower and louder?
And clearer.
There. Faster. Same thing.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's something special that I heard.
Can we get, whenever Tony wants to transition over, I want to get one more thing and then we can move over. I'd like to get "Stay Haunted" one more time, nice and clear.
Stay haunted right there.
You heard it? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Was it fast or slow?
Slow.
It was whisper.
Slow?
Slow. Stay
Okay.
haunted.
It's like 3 syllables.
Say Audra Keeler. How about that? Say Audra Keeler, please.
I heard it.
Did you?
I heard it. It was
Because
quick.
that's not that's a Keeler. If Keeler comes out, I'm gonna be like, whoa. Because that's another one of those names too. Oh, I think I heard a different Keeler. Okay, something.
So one more thing, and then just say Audra Keeler for us, nice and clear, please.
Nice and clear.
Kilo.
I think Chris is right. Audra's popular. It said Audra's popular. That's what I heard. Audra's popular.
We should listen to this after because there's going to be stuff we missed.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
So here's what we want you to do with this. Anybody coming through, you're going to transition to the same exact method, the same direct radio voice, but Tony's going to do it from where he is with Cherie. If you understand, please say Arizona. Understand? Say Arizona if you can go there and speak next.
They're already on the plane, brother.
I heard another question. All right.
I heard job,
Audra.
man.
I heard Audra is special. I heard Audra is special. Which you are. You see?
Very, very special.
They even know.
All right, you ready, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just pulled this before I put mine in. Okay. Wait a minute. I gotta.
That was good.
That was very
Now
good.
again, mine's been sitting for over. Well, mine's been sitting since last night, so I may have to
throw it in there.
Yes, and because of even though it's an empty white noise thing, it's still a radio receiver. So if the ionosphere, if it's long wave, if there's interference, anything could change. You get the settings tweaked, everything sounds
See what happens when you piss them off?
That was the same when I started mine. Is that when it's sitting for a while, if you're not monitoring it, if you get interference, you got to clean it up. But he'll find it in a second, and then you'll hear what you saw in his clip.
Huh. Do you remember the original Harry Potter when he stares in that mirror?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what this reminds me of.
Don't stare at that.
Just like get so engrossed in it because you want to and get lost. Like time you'll just get lost.
Oh yeah. Our 90-minute sessions go by like in
Quick.
no time.
Yeah.
Tony, if you need us to be quiet for a second so you can hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Okay.
Said thank you. That's special.
All right, Spirit,
there you go.
Yes, Scott.
It's a balancing act. It's a balancing act.
Sounding better. Sounding better.
I've never heard it called audio scrying. Because I think Audra was just likening it to something.
On Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like that?
I know.
That's right.
Just said Ron.
Expecto Patronum.
All right, Spirits, can you say Cherie Rathman?
I heard it faintly.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Yeah.
Can you say it loud and clear for me? Say Cherie Rathman.
I thought I heard my name.
Yeah. Somebody's giving a board meeting. That guy's talking like crazy.
I heard. I don't know if I should repeat it, but I heard.
Oh, Victoria. All right, you got me.
I heard after Chris's response. I heard that is stupid. That's what I heard.
I get that response a lot.
Spirits, can you say Yacovetti?
Okay.
We're on speaker. I heard we're on speaker.
That male that's trying to come through, you think you can come a little louder?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that.
The best report.
I heard it say sure.
Yeah, I heard the sure.
Yeah.
Someone says sure.
What kind of report are you talking about?
Right there. That was a good spot. You know what? That sounds good, Tony.
Yeah.
Right there.
Jacobetti. You guys
you
heard
heard
it? I heard it.
I thought it said exactly, but I could see maybe Yacovetti, maybe. Okay.
Okay.
All right, spirits. If you did say Yacovetti, say it again for me, please.
I heard the window won't be open long.
Yes, they heard.
What opens the window?
I thought I heard
God.
Is it the 7? You say 7 if that's who opens the window?
We don't want him to open the window.
If it's the 7, please say it.
Can you say "stay haunted"?
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it. It was
You heard
low.
it?
Yep, it was low.
I heard something about messages. So Tony is using this method in Arizona. So if you know that, can you say Arizona?
All right, Ron, let's go back to yours.
You sure?
Something about a chance.
Yeah.
You want Tony to give it a chance? A little longer?
Okay.
Please.
All right, how about something? Can you say "all good, baby"? How about that? Say "all good, baby."
I heard "Hey Spirit."
Hey, spirit. I heard it again.
Tony, try 60 hertz on the sound soaps. There you go. Yep.
Let me relearn that one. It's jumping all over.
Yeah, you get interference on the shortwave band.
So let me ask a question. The settings that Ron uses here, would those settings work the same for Tony in Arizona? If not, say different, please.
That was the answer.
They're the same.
They're the same.
Maybe, yeah, that sounds like a clue.
I think she's right.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, go ahead.
Can we switch it over?
Yeah.
So I want to point out something real quick before I pull Ron's in, guys. This is one frequency. and the amount of voices coming through are so much that the reason you see Ron and Tony playing on the computer is they're trying to dial it in to clear up these voices so we can actually hear some of it. But if you guys pay really close attention, focus on what you're hearing, and don't look at the screen, and you can actually pick up the different voices. I'm going to bring Ron's in now.
And he's running a shortwave band. I'm running a long wave band. They're both empty of radio emissions, and that's part of the methodology, is that we don't have to be on the same channel. If they're piggybacking on the carrier wave we're receiving, then it may not even matter. We're not even sure.
Okay, here we go.
Hi.
Something about special.
Can somebody say Audra, baby?
Audra Keeler.
And I heard you.
I want somebody to say Audra.
Twice.
Thank you.
I heard it. I heard all good.
Ron, go again.
Yeah.
You guys are getting echo.
What?
No.
It's a hospital.
See those interference bursts, I'm getting them too. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're around.
Hearing yourself.
Want a response?
Yes.
Ron wants a lot of things.
Ron. Something about it. I had a moment attack.
Here, Ron, the echo is so bad we can't understand it.
Hear him.
Keep.
The audio is something. Because we're getting you guys
Enter.
Jump in. It's magic. You guys keep saying magic. What does that mean? I thought I heard Ron before. Is there a love note?
I think it wasn't doing it.
Anything has anything to do.
You guys are like we can't understand. It just said, what the hell are you doing?
You got an echo.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
I don't know. We have just echoing.
Yeah, it's echoing.
Everything's running. Welcome to the internet.
You understand?
Can somebody say
Why you guys?
we can stop running.
Say that again.
We stopped running it and restart. I don't know why we got an echo when we came back. It wasn't doing it before.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, nice.
You're muted, Tony.
Yay!
What was that?
It was.
That's
Just
a
for
World
ride.
Band radio.
That's nice.
Just a ride.
The Texon PL360.
Yep. Exactly.
Long wave, short wave, medium wave. You can get a ferrite antenna to increase the pull on it.
Do you have that one or one similar?
I have the same one.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
And I used it a lot. When we were in Vegas, that's the one we used.
Oh, you mean these? Wait, there's a whole bunch of antennas in here. One,
Yeah.
2, 3 of them.
Tony,
The ferrite antenna looks like that one, but it's a longer one. It's like it's a heavier material.
Yep,
Almost
it's right
like-
here.
So Tony, we're still live. Do you want to pull yours back in?
Sure. Oh, that's Ron. Sorry.
That's Ron.
Hold on, I gotta slide this bar down.
I got you. Add yours in now.
Done.
There we go.
Hopefully.
It sounds like it.
You know what? I don't think I have a signal. Hold on.
This is why we don't call ourselves experts. We work in sound and we still get echo.
That may have said echo just now.
All right, let me see if I can tune this real quick.
Excuse me.
Stop it. He said stop it. No echo.
Did you guys say echo or did it say echo?
I said no echo.
Oh, I thought that came across the DRV.
Yeah,
Like,
so did I. I can't tell the difference between what it's because my speakers obviously are running through the program.
Yeah.
All right, Spirits, can you say Cherie Rathman for me?
So Scott's going to empty his savings account to do his DRV setup.
Yeah.
All right, one last time, Spirits. Say Cherie Rathman.
I heard it say no.
Me too, it said. Me too. Do you have a sense of humor? Say humor. Or say sense of humor.
Or how about laugh?
I don't think that radio. I think the plug on that other radio is bad. That's why I bought this new one. It's just not. Pumping out enough, even through my mixer.
It needs an amp.
Yeah, I think it's too lightweight to.
Possible. The little Ritecus TR601 that I have that Anthony Seminelli bought me. It's not at its loudest. It's not loud, and I've gotten stuff on it.
Yeah, I can get. Obviously, you saw some of the clips, but
yep.
This just isn't doing it.
We'll revisit. I'm still wondering if the loud max thing has anything to do with it, because the upper slide brings in the lower end, and the upper one's supposed to be overwhelming it too loud.
Yeah, but if I lower these, it goes away. You can even look at the monitor. You can see it's gone.
Yeah.
But look at your.
So everybody watching, you're seeing an actual investigation happening.
Pretty much.
He's getting levels on the sound gate. See it on the far right?
Yeah.
The bypass, that thing,
So DRB is fun, and you get some really great responses, and Ron and Tony get some really fantastic results when they use this on an investigation and sitting at home and Ron sitting at lunch. But what you're seeing right now is getting it going. So this is what we talk about on our show all the time, where we talk about what you see on TV is just the highlight reel. And that guy agreed with me.
Yeah, this is why it's a grind.
Yeah. I heard Holte, yeah. Audra heard Holte.
I've gotten Holte out of a few. I got Holte out of Direct Radio Voice before at the Expo in New Jersey. Sure did. Want to know where he was.
One Holte was mentioned. Not those Holte. Which Holte are you talking about? If you said Holte, which one?
I heard Holte again.
I heard last doing something.
I would leave it right there if you can. That does not
All right,
sound
Spirits, can you say Cherie Rathman for me?
Yes, that burst, because I can hear a female trying to come through. Mr. Something, she said.
Yeah, I think it's shortwave interference.
Yeah.
This is really about Anthony Simonelli.
All right. Well, we tried.
I hear stuff.
You do. Is it the burst is messing it up a little? But there's voices, which you were experiencing that before.
Yeah, it happened.
And it happens.
Happened to me yesterday.
Yeah, it happens.
Well,
That sounds good.
Ooh.
Don't touch anything unless it makes a burst.
It said yes, and there was some.
Yeah, I heard the yes. Spirits, can you say stay haunted?
Yes. I heard it.
Yeah, it was low. I heard it too.
I heard Chris's name and then Audra's name, and then the Stay Haunted. Which actually, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Stay haunted. I just heard it.
Good, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, good ears. That's very, very good.
Actually, I'm 3/4 deaf in my left ear.
I guess it's all good on the right. It's all good on the right.
I honestly think I tend to hear more with my less with my ears and more with what I just comes in.
Ah, okay.
All right. Well, I've lost it, so it's got to be completely refigured. So,
and it's late.
Yeah, it is. You can get lost doing this stuff.
That's
You-
what
yeah,
I
you
said.
can.
Very
Yep.
honest, staring in the mirror.
All right, Tony, I'm gonna go ahead and pull you out.
all right.
All right, guys, that is Rathman's ear, and that is Cherie waiting for her anniversary surprise.
Look
Look at Tony grin.
I think he's wearing them.
Oh,
Let's
how
see.
pretty.
Come closer. Come closer.
I know.
That's enough. Whoa, what the hell is that?
Nice.
Wow, very nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's my
They got
necklace?
goodies back there too.
Where's
Very
my
nice.
necklace?
I got chocolate covered fruit.
Covered fruit. All right, guys, really quick update. I've been chatting with Race while we were doing the show,
Yeah.
and he is, to say the least, his mortality's been a little shocked, and I can understand that. I said so. Until I get back home, continue the grind. You guys handle business as usual. Okay.
All right.
I can use prayers more than normal now, more now than ever.
You got it.
So
Yep.
I told him that's exactly what I told him, and I told him that I would be for him because I would be here for him because I've been in his shoes. Those of you that know me, I suffered from a severe heart attack in November of 2018, 19, somewhere back there. Yeah. So Chris should be dead, but apparently I made it through it. So I understand what Race is going through, and I will send best wishes from all of you to him. And I will reach out to him every other day or so. I'm not going to harp him too much, but as soon as I have updates, I will post it on the Entity Voices live stream page on Facebook so you guys can see where he's at.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a physical battle along with a mental battle, and I think as a man, no offense, this is not a dig towards women at all. That much of a shock to your mortality definitely has its impact.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
he's going to need all of our support, and we're going to give it to him. So I will give you guys updates every chance I get. Every time I talk to Race, I will post it on the Facebook page so everybody sees what's going on, and we just keep him in your prayers and keep him going. Ron and Tony and Cherie and Lourdes, do you guys have anything you want to say?
No.
Cherie's like, no, I'm going to go to fucking bed.
She's waiting for the necklace. The necklace is next.
Nah.
I know, right? I got the bracelet already. When was that? My birthday?
Yeah. No. Was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
All right, guys, happy anniversary to Tony and Cherie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers. Happy anniversary.
Also, just want to just want to say thank you to all the people that greeted us and wish us
Yes.
on your
All right.
post. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. And I love you guys. And oh, by the way, belated happy birthday, Ron.
Yes.
Yes.
Last Monday.
Happy birthday, Ron Yacopetti.
Yeah, it was
Monday.
Tuesday. He's right.
Tuesday.
Lourdes has given him many spankings.
28
since
years
then.
old.
Yes. What
Always.
she said. I don't have a miracle ear, so I don't know what she said, but it sounded good.
35. 35
Yes,
years
I'm in my very late 20s.
old.
Very late.
All right.
Thank you,
So, guys, what we did tonight is our introduction of Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence from Arizona, from New Jersey, from North Carolina. We wanted you to see a little bit of us and what we do and why we do and the passion that we do behind it. But there's only one way that we keep this passion. What do we do that you do every week? We stay haunted. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, night.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?